Shlama and Shlomo Aleichem. This is SAROY and welcome to this new video series. Today I will teach you guys the Alap-Bet, the Estrangellat. The Alap-Bet is the alphabet. This is the alphabet of the Assyrian Aramaic language. Let's get started. So, what will we learn exactly in this video? Well, it will be like 4 videos or so. The 22 letters of the alphabet and all their functions, of course. We will learn the vowels of the alphabet. I will explain this in a bit because for those who don't know, this is maybe some important information. Within the Assyrian language, you have 2 major dialects. You have the Eastern and the Western dialects. Both dialects have their own alphabet, and the one we are learning is called the Estrangella or the Estrangello. This is actually the 3rd one, and this is the classical one. One day, both dialects used this alphabet, and that's the reason why we're learning this alphabet instead of the Western modern one or the Eastern modern one. So we're using the classical alphabet, but we're using both vowels because a vowel in the Assyrian language is added on the letter, like in Arabic with the dots a bit. What do? We use the Eastern vowels and the Western vowels. I will teach you both of them, and you can just add them on the classical letters. So it's a way of unity as well. You unite both dialects in that way. So here is a picture of different Assyrian alphabets. The first 2 are classical ones. We're going to learn this one. Then you've got the Eastern one. This one is the Eastern one, and this is the Western one. This one is called Toroyo. This one is called Swadaya. These 2 are Estrangello. Well, actually, one of them is from Nusaybin and the other one is from Urhai. These are cities from the classical period where they developed these alphabets. Okay, so we'll continue now. Let's get started. A little word in advance before we get started is that some general information that you really need is when we learn how to read and write, there are certain rules that I don't mention when I teach you the letters, which is for example, Assyrian is a Semitic language, which means that you have to read from right to left. But also when you write, you need to write from the top to the bottom. That's one of the rules you have to keep in mind. Of course, you're able to write the letter another way, but that's just for efficiency. Also, most of the times I will use a Eastern pronunciation in titles, etc., because I'm an Eastern speaker. When we see some words that I have prepared, we'll also see the Western pronunciation and the Western word of it. Well, yeah, a bit about this YouTube channel and series. I think I told you guys enough. And for the YouTube channel, please like and subscribe if you haven't done that before. You'll see many more similar things if you subscribe to this channel. Okay, so we'll get started. Each video I will try to discuss 5 letters and 2 vowels. Let's get started. Because I like short and simple videos, it's more efficient, right? Atwate, that's what it says. Letters in Eastern Assyrian. Okay, that's an Eastern pronunciation. The first letter, the Alap. So the Alap has no sound. That's one of the things you have to remember. The Alap produces no sound. Okay. All the other letters produce a sound except for the Alap. The Alap can produce a sound when you add vowels on the letter, but in this case it's not like that. So we will see how that becomes. So now I will show you how to write this letter through PowerPoint actually. So you start from this point and you go up and then you go back to this point here. So you write, so you have to write this like this. Then you lift up your pencil. Then you write from this point to this point like that, just like that. Okay. The Alap has 3 functions. Okay. You can use the Alap in the beginning of a word, in the middle of a word, or at the end of a word. When you use the Alap at the beginning of the word, that indicates that the word you're writing down starts with a vowel. Okay, so an Alap is an indicator for a vowel when you see the Alap in the beginning of a word. In the middle of a word, it indicates a glottal stop. So when you read a Alap in the middle of a word, that means you have to wait for a while. For example, in a word deva, deva actually with the V, that means wolf. You have to stop at the middle of the word. Deva, not deva. At the end of a word, it indicates that the word ends on the vowel as well, but to be specific, on a dotted vowel. That means a dot vowel. We will see later what a dot vowel is. All you have to do is, at the moment, is remember the beginning, it indicates a vowel. The middle, a glottal stop. At the end, a vowel as well, a dotted vowel. Okay, that's Alap. The second letter of the alphabet, the Bet, the beautiful Bet. Bet produces a sound. It produces the B, the B, the B in English. Like beta, baba, that's a B, okay? Some letters in the Assyrian alphabet can be softened. We call this a rukaha. That's by placing a dot underneath the letter. You soften the sound of the letter, so that means the bet becomes a V. So the bet can become a V. The bet becomes a vet by adding a dot underneath the letter. So it produces two sounds, the bet, the letter on its own. It can produce a B when there is no dot and a V when there is a dot, okay? So how do you write down this letter? So a vertical line like this. Then you go to the left, long line to the left, right? And then here, a shorter one from right to the left. That's it. That's the bet. Then we have the Gemel. Okay, I see it's a bit messed up, but no worries. The Gemel is the third letter of the alphabet. The Gemel is a special letter because it produces three sounds. How does it produce three sounds? Well, when there is nothing added on the Gemel, it's a G, as you can hear, G. Another tip I can give you guys is, if you ever forget which sound a letter produces, think of the name of the letter, Bet, Gemel. The first stress is the G, G. So it produces a G. Bet, B, Gem, Alap-Bet, Gemel, Da, Dalet, He, He. You will see what I mean in a while. So the sound it produces, first sound is the G. When you soften it, so the Gemel gets softened as well. So we got the Bet that can be softened. When you soften the Bet, it becomes a Vet. When you soften the Gemel, it becomes a Ramel. A Ramel. So by adding a dot right here, a Ramel. So when you add a curvy line, what is a curvy line? So as you can see a curvy line here. The curvy line is a funny thing. It indicates a foreign word. And when you add a curvy line beneath the Gemel, it becomes a Jamel. So that indicates a foreign sound. That's why you see the curvy line there. It's not supposed to be there. We can add it on the Gemel. And it's either a curvy line or it can also look like this. This is a Gemel as well, with this with the line in the middle. So that represents the Jamel as well. Okay. How do you write down this Jamel? Well, you can start from this point, go up, and then you start from here, and you write down a line from right to left. Okay. That's the Gemel. So what do we have to remember about the Gemel is that it produces three sounds. The Gemel, normally the G. If you don't add a dot or a line, second sound it creates is the R, Ramel, Ramel, Ramel. It's when you add a dot. And then you've got the curvy line, which indicates a foreign sound, a foreign word, which is the Jamel. Alright, we move on. We've got Alap-Bet, Gemel, Dalet right now. The Dalet produces the D. Okay, it can be softened as well. If you add a dot beneath the Dalet, it becomes a the, DH. Okay, how do I write down this letter? Well, to write down the Dalet, you take your pencil, a vertical line, from the top to the bottom. That's a rule. And then you go back, and then from this point to the left, and then a small dot in the middle. That's it. That's a dalet. I also wrote down connection with resh. Resh is another letter, and it's basically the same letter, just like this, but instead of putting the dot at the end, you put it on the head, on the resha, like we say in Assyrian, on the head, and that becomes the R instead of the D. Okay. The last letter for today is the he. The he is a very simple letter. Why? Not the writing of it, but it doesn't really have any, you can't soften the he. It's just the he, and it produces only one sound, H, which is awesome. So how do you write down this letter? Start at the right hand side like always, and you draw a half circle up to this point, and then straight line to the bottom. Well, it's not straight, it's a diagonal line, and then you go back to the top here, and then you continue and we'll draw another half circle. Okay, that's the he. So those were the 5 letters that we've seen today, the 5 atwate. So now we will see the zaw'e. These are the vowels. Today's vowels are the skapa or the skofo. Skofo is the Western pronunciation, and the ptaha or the ftoho. So this is the long A and the short A. So the long A, is skapa, and then you got the ptaha, which is the short A. Okay. At the left hand side, you can see the bet. We just learned this letter, the bet. So we'll just use the bet as an example. You can replace the bet in this case with any other letter. So we use the bet in this case. As you can see, there are 2 dots placed in a certain way. These 2 dots represent the sound ah. So what you always have to do in Assyrian is you first read the letter itself. So b, ah, so ba. That's the skapa, the long A in Eastern. Now we will do the other Eastern vowel. There are 7 Eastern vowels, 5 Western vowels. So skapa, ptaha are the first 2 Eastern vowels. Ptaha or ptaha. 1 dot at the top, 1 at the bottom, represents a short A. Ah. Okay. So this becomes ba, while this becomes ba. Alright. And then we've got the skofo and the ftoho, which are the 2 Western vowels. By the way, I don't know if you noticed, but the Western vowels, they actually are based on the Greek vowels, and the dotted vowels are the Eastern ones. All right, so these are based on the Greek vowels. The bet, this represents a O. So this is bo, because you first pronounce the bet and then the vowel. Oh, my mistake. And the ftoho is a short A. Okay, well actually in the Western pronunciation, in the Western dialect, the ftoho is a normal A. So ba, this is the ba. All right, so this is ba, this is ba, skapa, bo. So all long A's become a O in the Western. All long A's in Eastern become a O in the Western dialect. These are the 4 vowels actually that we've learned today, since you've learned 2 Eastern vowels and 2 Western vowels. We will see a few words each time. So these are the words of today. We've got 2 words with Eastern pronunciation and 2 words with Western pronunciation. They are the same words, so 2 words basically. You've got the first word, which reads Gedda. So this is the Gamel that we've seen without any dot beneath it. Well, you see the dot beneath here? It's the Ptaha. It's a short A. So Gamel, short A. This is a Dalet that we've seen with a Skapa on it. Okay? With a long A on it. So Ga-da. This word means luck. Luck. To have luck in life. You're lucky to learn Assyrian. Gedda. Gedda. Alright. Now we move on to the second word. Well, actually, let's first see the Western pronunciation. The same. So Gedda. And here you see the Gamal with, look how it looks like an A, right? Like that. Gado. Gado. Look. Same word. Gado. Gadda. Gado. Okay. Dahva. So you put a dot beneath the bet, it becomes a vet. Start here, sorry. This is the dalet, the D. Ptacha, short A, so da. Then we've got the he, so an H. Dah. Then the bet, but it got a dot beneath it, so it becomes a V. Dahv, dahv, and then what's this? This is skapa, a long A in Eastern. Dahva, which means gold. Dahva, pronounced in most Eastern dialects as dehva. So this is dahva. So how do you pronounce this in Eastern? Dahvo. Same thing, same, as you can see, same letters exactly. The vowels are different. Dah, this is an A. So dalet. Then the A, then the he, then the bet with the v, and then the O, long O. So dahvo, dahvo. That's basically it. Thanks for your attention for the first video. Hopefully we will do many more videos. Well, this is the first of the series, so we will see the 5 next letters the next time. I'll try to upload one session weekly. So hopefully this will help a lot of you out to learn the Assyrian alphabet, and please feel free to criticize any content of this video in the comments, or if you have any other questions, feel free to comment as well. Thank you very much. This was SAROY. Push Shlama, Fush Shlomo.